Hey guys, once again we are back. It is 8:43. Totally my fault today. Coming to the studio and it was running behind schedule. Had to eat first so I can make sure I'm present for you guys and I'm not over here drooping down because of hunger, pains, and sleep. But we are going to have a great time here at MMA. Once again, we start at 8:30 and just excused. We're on CPT time today. How about that? So what's going on, Cody?
Not much, man. Just been working, getting platforms built. Actually, funny enough, in my own actual job that I have outside of creating these systems, actually we implemented, or they implemented as the business owner, a new system that is totally not good.
Really? So, okay. So being a person that talks about, this actually ties right into what I want to talk about tonight, but I want to walk this out with you.
Okay.
So you say it's not good. You're dealing with systems and different platforms all the time. What makes the system, not revealing the company, but what makes the system not good?
Well, I mean, when they send out a system that isn't ready yet, I would say that's definitely not good. There's many, I would say, functions on there that really isn't prepared to be sent out yet, or it's very minimal. It's like a bare bones structure of function. Like they sent out the email basically giving us the login, and it was literally just an email that had our email and then a temporary password with no link to the platform, no link to the login screen. Like,
wow.
They're not ready to, I guess, either have the system that they think they need, or, which is more so the latter, they're working with the wrong people.
Ah, okay. Wow. So if I'm correct, then they didn't walk it out with vision.
Correct.
Okay. And that's exactly what I want to talk about tonight. And it's funny that you should even talk about that.
You say they didn't walk it out with vision. That's exactly what they didn't do, because actually I called to speak with them. And, well, I'm not going to say exactly how it happened, but let's just say I called and spoke with them. And they actually have no idea what they're doing. And they have no idea when what they're doing is going to be ready.
Ah, okay. So they just have no vision of where they're going to be.
Correct.
Whether it be a week from now or maybe 6 months to a year from now.
Correct. Because it sounds like more so of what we've been talking about, which is they don't even know a direction of where they're going.
Wow.
And now it's like hard to say when you're going to be there when you don't even know where you're going. You could be going from the next state over to Paris, to all the way around the world. You don't know, but you have no direction. So you're just like, I don't know.
Wow. And that's actually kind of, when I say he's walking right into it, these things just we don't sometimes have an agenda per se, and we just have conversations where we back and forth, and they kind of lead to what I wanted to talk about. And specifically what I wanted to talk about tonight was casting vision with AI tools. And that's exactly what what Cody's talking about, is the vision. 2026 is already here. We are now the 18th of the month or the 19th? I can't remember.
Wow, is it already? Seriously?
Yeah.
It's the 18th.
18th of the month.
Wow.
And in 2025, people had an idea of where they were going, what they wanted to do in 2026. And some people still don't understand how important their vision needs to be clear in order to move forward to a place called there, wherever that there may be.
Correct.
And corporations and people are still doing the same thing they were doing in 2025.
Unfortunately.
Exactly.
Yep. And you know what? It's funny enough, but again, without putting anyone on blast, this particular company has actually tried this before.
Oh, wow.
And it didn't work either.
Got it.
And then they came back, I guess, to the drawing board, hopefully with new people in mind on the table. And this doesn't seem like it's shaping up to be a working system either.
Wow. So sometimes things that used to work yesterday don't mean they're going to work today.
Correct.
And in this world that we live in, your vision you have to have almost like a wireframe of where you want to go, but you have to understand one thing about vision. In vision, there's always pivotal moments where you actually have to shift, even if it wasn't on the program, but recognizing that this tool or this access is different than what you thought it would be.
And I'm glad you said the word pivot, because I think that's going to be a very important word, and it already has been. But even moving forward in 2026 and beyond, it's going to be a very important word that you're going to want to use in your vocabulary, because a lot of businesses, they're scared to pivot. I'm just going to be honest. They're scared to make a change. Right. They have one set rule book that's worked for their whole company career. Maybe the CEO has passed away and left it to another guy, and he's like, you know what, this is working. I don't want to pivot. But I'm just telling you that if you're afraid of pivot change, or you're afraid of taking the next step, that maybe this is the year you look into doing so.
Well, that's very important. And pivoting requires you to trust sources that you may not have been able to trust in the past. And so sometimes people are very hesitant to really pass their baby or their dream or their ideas on to another individual because that's their baby.
Correct.
I don't know if you're going to take care of it as good as I do. I don't know if you're going to treat it as good as I do, but you want a result. So we realize that the result that you're getting is based off of your limited view. So you're not able to pivot, kind of like we just said, change, pivot, change. And you're not willing to change, but you're not willing to give it over to help someone else to help you scale.
Correct.
So if you're not willing to change, you're not willing to have somebody help you, then how is the vision or the dream going to come to pass?
No, that's a very good point. It's not really going to come to pass because a lot of people, like you just said, are afraid to pivot and they don't know if the next idea they have or the next thing they have is going to work out. And that's where we talk about like walking in faith and making sure that you're grounded and you know that what you're doing is the correct path, whether every day you wake up, that's what you want to do and your passion, then it can't be wrong. But at the same time, at least being grown enough or adult enough or wise enough to say, hey, you know what? This current position I'm doing isn't working. Current thing I'm doing may not be the path.
Right.
But if I just pivot a little bit and still stay on the same path, don't change from, a cameraman to an electrician. We're not we're not asking you to change careers here.
Right.
But at the end of the day, you have to see what's working in your business and what's not and change.
Now, I like that. See what's working and what's not. And that means you have a page start, you have a page break, and in the middle you have the process. And being able to do all those different processes across the board to get one complete picture. That's the whole vision of what you're trying to do. So the question I would have for people is, you are a person that is trying to make something happen in 2026. You don't really know exactly where you're trying to go. You don't want to change, and you don't want to trust maybe a human. So why not try AI?
Exactly.
Why not? I'm sorry, Cody. Go ahead.
No, I was agreeing with you, and also it's even a little more than just trusting AI. I'll take it a step further.
Sure.
Why not trust the next human? I see a lot of distrust, a lot of non-collaboration, a lot of big ego, and just people not willing to work together. And I think that's a shame when it comes to any industry. This isn't just about AI, filmmaking, or anything. It's every industry. When you know that there's peers out there of yours, regardless of any past history, regardless of any future history, or regardless of what you think may happen or who this person is, any of that, let it go. And I say business is business in 2026, regardless if you're using AI, regardless if you're using human touch, which you should be doing both.
Facts.
So get out there, collaborate, and make it happen.
Collaboration. And you just mentioned a big deal. People's ego and their pride really does get in the way of business as a whole.
Correct.
And not being able to see past their own process and procedures and thinking that they have arrived.
Correct.
But yet they're still in the same place. They're stagnant. They're in the paralysis stage.
Yep.
And they need to go further, but they don't want to because of the fact that, I got everything I need. And then in reality, why isn't everything not working?
Exactly. And being in the field I'm in, I talk to a lot of creators, especially lately. I've probably talked to over 50 creators in the past 2 weeks alone. Wow. And it's just, it's been fun to hear different perspectives, but what we hear a lot is that there's no collaboration in this field. It's a lot of gatekeeping. People are, of course, looking for gigs, and there's opportunity out there. But then again, it's a lot of who you know, the networking, who you have in your back pocket. People like to have a list of videographers, photographers, editors that they have and they use over and over. But that kind of cuts into the industry of being able to collaborate, like I say, with different folks and getting those, collaborations together and making sure that they work well. It just kind of sticks to a certain amount of people, and I think that kind of hurts the industry.
Well, I'm glad you actually just mentioned about the media side of things, because 2025, a lot of people didn't realize how much media was going to transform their business in the future.
Yep.
And I think more people are coming to the realization that if I don't have a connection, to expose my processes and what I'm trying to do via media channels, I'm not going to be in AI, I'm not going to be on Google, I'm not going to be on any platform because of the fact that I have no way of distributing that. Nobody's recording it, chopping it up, and putting it out to the world.
Yep.
And so I'm curious about you as a whole, of how many people are now starting to reach out because they recognize that media is a big part of this whole transition and pivoting.
Well, actually, a lot of people, because what we realize is, I actually talked to a videographer the other day, and he said something that was really great and transformative. He said that when you are a videographer and people are speaking with you about your business and what you do and how you can help them, don't ever tell them, I'm a videographer. Because that tells them that essentially you're going to make them a piece that may get some views or may get some likes, or you know, it might have a fancy edit on it that they like.
Right.
But that's not returning an ROI on their investment. That's a return on investment. That's not getting them their money back. They're essentially just spending money to have a cool video that lives on their profile or their website, and that's not really making them no money. So I say all that to say, instead, don't tell people you're a videographer. You can say different things. Say things like, I'm a video marketer.
Okay.
Or I help businesses gain more clientele. Or I help businesses scale from X to Y.
Nice.
Just different statements like that actually help also tell a story more about who you are and what you actually do, versus just, I'm a videographer. I make cool videos. I edit. You know, it's also kind of downplaying who you are, because you know you do more than that anyway.
Right.
Even if you are, like, you know, a videographer, you do edit, you
Right.
do social media, you do marketing. This is what we all do as videographer and content creators. So own it.
Wow. So I like that. So the idea of don't just niche yourself down to one specific area, but show how you bring value to that organization, being your media capabilities.
Exactly.
Okay, I love that. And that's the biggest thing. Like, I've been watching, you know, we watch a lot of different things and see a lot of things, but I'm heavy on just doing research. And I've noticed that a lot of major brands are really connecting with media companies and media outlets and providing their own distribution within their network in order for creators and people that want to be creators to be able to tie into what they're doing, to be able to distribute. Short films are a big deal now. Storytelling more often. More people wanting to connect with Hollywood, major corporations, and then just the local places. People are doing content content studios to help with other people. So there's a lot of different things that are being tied into media, but people are understanding that this is the new wave. This is the new future. And it's not just, okay, everything's going to be on Netflix. Everything's going to be on Paramount. But the individual is actually having just as a great impact on the world as much as a major distribution company or a major media company.
Exactly. Yep. And I see a lot of content creators kind of shifting toward this, and even people like Kai Cenat, who's going through, I would say, a little bit of a backlash right now, because all it is, I'm going to be quite honest, is he's switching from what everybody knows him as and trying to do something different. And now everybody's like, wow, he's pivoting.
Right. He's changing.
He's changing.
Right.
And nobody likes to see change when they've been stuck on what is for years.
Right.
So it's like, you know, now they're trying to downplay him reading and him doing this. It's like, we can't start downplaying people for being intellectuals, for being, you know, people of their own right, wanting their own platform, doing their own thing, owning their own brand, tired of being with Twitch and giving away that 10, 20, 30%, whatever it may be.
Right.
They want to do their own thing. And I think that he pivoted and he might have picked the perfect time. It's 2026 and he's not no dummy.
Well, you know what? I'm glad you just said that. So ecosystems, a lot of times people are, let me say it this way. We want to keep people where we have met them.
Correct.
And not let them evolve.
Yep. We never let people grow.
And that is a problem. I mean, even unto different times of life that you may meet someone in the past, or someone may meet you and they knew you as maybe the person that was behind the camera. Exactly. But now you're the person that's doing the systems and they can't see you past behind the camera.
Exactly. They just knew me as the cameraman, the guy who would come shoot a video, edit it, and get it done. And now I'm the business owner, the developer, the ecosystem put together developer, like I said. And now they can't, like you just said, can't see past that. So yeah, I mean, when you make a change, you have to make it obvious, you have to make it known, walk in that and let people know that that's who you are, and don't be afraid of that. And when you make the pivot, know that it was time to pivot, because apparently things weren't working. I mean, people don't pivot when they're making $1, $2, $3, $4 million a year.
Right.
You know, they pivot when things are stagnant, stale, you're in the paralysis, and it's time to make that change and start producing.
No, and that's absolutely correct. So you develop your own ecosystem so that way you're not tied to just one particular vertical of revenue.
Yep.
And I think that's the reason why a lot of people are kind of like you said, mad at Kai. It's just because of the fact that, he's been streaming for such a long time and being built up building that up, but he's also been building his network up too.
Exactly.
So that way he can pass on to the torch to one of his associates or one of his boys to do something that he was doing and say, you can take it now, run it and make it and go further while I go down a different lane.
And I think that we forget that a lot, especially like you said earlier, when people build things, it's their baby and they coddle it and they don't want to let it go. And you got to remember that when you build things, it's no longer for you. It's no longer for you. If we all built things that was for us, we would just all be spending time in our room building blocks. It's like when you're a kid and you build A, B, C. It's like, look, mommy, look what I did.
Right.
But now we're building things that are more for other people.
Right.
We're serving now. We're not sitting back and building these ecosystems and saying, hey, you know what? I think this would be great if me and Mouse could just win.
Right, exactly. That's true. That's real talk. I mean, the reality of it is we live in a very entertaining and experience-based world. And when someone has been the entertainment or the center of your entertainment for such a long time, you don't want to let them move on. And you got to realize that they're not here just to provide entertainment for you, but they also have a life outside of that.
Correct.
And when you put yourself in front of the camera all the time and you have exposed your life so much that people feel like you owe them to show them, this is what I want to do now. And you're like, no, I'm used to you doing this.
Yeah, go back to doing this.
Right. I like that. I don't like what you're doing right now. Well, this is actually still my life. I just happen to have developed a whole platform that I allow you to get into, but at the moment that I want to cut it off, or the minute I want to pivot and change for something better for me, for my mental wellness and my mental well-being, or whatever the case might be, then I should be able to do that without backlash. But unfortunately, because I have exposed my life so much that people feel entitled to do what they need to do. Now, Cody's looking at my chest. I'm wondering if something's wrong because he's.
No, I'm just always. You know what? That's such a videographer thing that when you're on set and you're always working with these different tools and you're like looking at lights and making okay now that's because now I'm looking at the light on the camera going it's recording. I mean, there's so many little things that you could forget when you're on set that you have to actually go back and look and say, is that recording? Is that green light on? Is that levels correct? Did I see any peaking?
I love it.
Yeah, but
pivoting always. And that's how you know we're not AI. This is always going to be live because we're always going to have something that's going on in the background that we're always checking like, yo, is this all going good?
Might be a cat run across the table.
Right, exactly. There's always pivot, there's always change, but that's what makes it fun, is that we can go back and see the different things that have been, going across that we can say, wow, I wish that never have happened because this wouldn't have happened, this, that, and the other. So it's just funny how things work out. But to what we were talking about and the just pivoting, the changing, we have to be willing to change and being willing to accept the change. And that's what the biggest thing that a lot of people are not, they're afraid to do right now is like the past is not the same as the future, and it's not supposed to be. The tools of the past are not the same tools as the future.
Correct.
So can you make those changes? Like you had talked about Dreamweaver before, and then you said the new Dreamweaver
would be probably Cursor.
Would probably be Cursor. So you had to make that change, but you also make a relevancy to help people understand. If you were using this, then you can use this.
Exactly.
And the new change, I know I'm talking a lot, but I want to get this out. The new change is Google is now using Claude. I mean, and so they're just evolving, but they haven't went away from their core research model. Exactly. They're just calling it a different name for a different time and season that we're in.
Yep. A new LLM, some new data backend that they're working with. It's always going to be something new. And here's the reality of it is sometimes you're going to see the front end of it where it's new with like new design changes on the Apple phone or the new MacBook or any of the new devices. You'll see the front end, but there's always also going to be back end development changes that you never even see or you ever even know that exist because these are all development tools that these softwares and these companies are using to better their company and to better serve you as the end user. So I think that it's okay to make change. It's okay to accept change.
Right.
And if you don't know or you're stuck in your business right now, then you might need to pivot.
True. And that's the thing too, is that's the reason why I think, with that change you had talked about and me mentioning Google and all these other platforms that are out here, is that's the reason why we talk about own your data.
Own your future.
Because of the fact that if you own it, then you can make evolution, you can evolve it however you want to, but you always have a base to start from. And I think a lot of times people don't really understand that if you don't own your data, which therefore you can own your future, then that means that anytime somebody wants to go away from a different system or cut it off, and you've only used that system, then there's no way for you to move forward because now you don't have the data that you initially started with.
Exactly. And or even if they do allow you, which sometimes by law they must, allow you to download your data, it's probably just some kind of one data file. It's not like it's organized well into a data sheet like it was on their backend server and it looked all beautiful and nice and fancy on your website. Now it's literally just a list of files and names and dates and structures, and you're looking at it like, what is this?
Right.
I wanted my data.
Right.
It's like, well, there's your data on a silver plate, and that's all they have to do by law. So they don't have to give you another website and say, you know what, we shut down, but Cakes by Stacy is going to stay up, and we're going to make sure Cakes by Stacy gets all the good new AI tools. It's like, no, honey, this is shut down. It's over.
Right.
Quit.
Right.
Like, you don't have to quit, but you're going to have to pivot so much that you may have to stop for a minute because that idea is done. And that's what I like you made a good point to tell a lot of you guys that if you're using one platform, if you're counting on one client to put you there in the next level, stop doing that. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Go and look up getting your own platform, working with companies like Marketing Mousetrap Agency, working with platforms and brands like Course Creator Academy, who has their creator collective that allows creators to get opportunities and a lot more. I mean, finding these different groups, courses, academies, system builders who are out here in the public and out here ready to serve you, who can help you. Like I said, don't put all your eggs in one basket. It's not a good idea.
And for those financial people out there, that's a mutual fund. Diversifying your portfolio is what it would be called.
Diversify your portfolio.
Definitely, of business tools and systems. And so from diversifying your portfolio, you got ChatGPT for an AI tool, you got Jasper for an AI tool, and you also have Writer.com for an AI tool. So just giving you three different verticals that you can use. Once again, that was ChatGPT, you can use Jasper, or you can use Writer.ai for just casting vision. If you have an idea that you not really have refined, use those tools to help. Hey, how do I go from $1 to $1 million this year using this business model? And let AI do what it's supposed to do. Assist. That's all it's there for.
Yep. And it's almost like the old saying we used to hear, the old thing where people would say they'd trade a paper clip to all the way till they got to like a car.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that model. It's like you can use this chat to say, here's where I'm starting. I got the paper clip.
Right.
And what I really want is a 1969 Chevelle. So now how do we get there?
Right, exactly.
And it's going to give you the blueprint. And it may not be as easy as taking this paperclip to the next 1969 Chevelle owner and saying, I got this paperclip, will you trade? We all know that's not going to happen. Of course, there's going to be work, production, action being taken.
Facts.
And once you put action with a plan and a goal, it's over.
I love that. And I'm glad, Cody just walked out, from the paperclip to the Chevelle. Was it Chevelle?
Chevelle.
Okay. So the idea is to keep moving while you're getting that information. When you put it in there, do not get stuck in the paralysis stage and say, I don't have everything on this list. Work with what's in your hand. If all you have is a cell phone and you got your brain and your fingertips, type in and figure out, okay, what can I move forward with? And tell Jasper, tell Writer AI, Claude, Omni, all these different platforms, hey, this is what I have. Help me get to a place called there. And continue to actually move as it gives you information and do the research, because that's what people are so afraid of, is movement. I don't know what it is about movement in this world that we live in, but people are really afraid to take a step forward.
Man, if anything over these past few days has taught me, and I'm so glad and thankful of the people who've given me their time to talk to them, but it's just, like you just said, people are afraid to take action. You can give them an opportunity that they know they need, that they've been asking for. And then they just look at you and go, not ready to take action. Wow. And it's like, if you're not ready to take action, I can't make you take action. Nobody can make you take action. Only you can make you take action.
Facts.
And until the day you are, I would say, if this is the route you're trying to take to be successful, it's going to take some action.
I agree with that. And I think a lot of times people are just in this season of the world that we're in this season of life that we are both in, that they like the information that they receive, but when it actually comes to movement, then that's where everything else falls apart. It's like, oh yeah, I can talk Big Willie. I know this person. I can do this and I can do that. But then when they come back to you and say, hey, Cody, how's that project coming along? Oh, I haven't started yet. You start stammering, you start stuttering because you actually, it was great to have a good talking point, but you didn't actually have no one to keep you accountable.
Accountability.
Yes. And that's a big deal for a lot of people is who is your accountability partner? And if you're an introvert, then let AI be your accountability partner and utilize these tools that can say, hey, did you do this yet? Did you do that yet? No one has to know your process as long as your process gets done and is consistent. So people can buy your service that you say is so wonderful, but you have yet to move on it.
Because we know the honest truth, just like we know in the service industry, our client, all they care about is the results.
Right.
For 99% of the time, all they care about is results.
Right.
And when you think about it, that's really all you should care about is the result.
Right.
And my end result of all this is to get that dream car, the 1969 Chevelle.
Hey.
So if all you was wondering, I'm going to do that by owning my data.
And you own your future.
Peace.